Today I have 8 tips for my runners. Anybody who's looking to improve their running performance, sprint performance, any sport that involves running, these tips are for you. The first tip we're going to talk about here is keeping a neutral head position. The second one we're going to talk about here is what are your arms doing, right? The third thing here is what are my shoulders doing? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Lifestyle Athletics YouTube channel. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Roxroy Cato. I'm a 2-time Olympian and I'm currently in preparation for my 3rd Olympics. And I thought it would be a cool idea to bring you guys along with me. So without further ado, guys, let's go. The first tip we're going to talk about here is keeping a neutral head position. So what I mean by this is think of your head as your stabilizer. Right? So if your head is rocking back, your body's going back. If your head is rocking forward, your body's going forward. If your head is going to the side, your body's going to be going to the side slightly, right? So what you want to focus on when you're running is to have a neutral head position. And what I mean by this is you don't want to be dropping your chin down and you don't want to be tilting your head back. I tend to do this when I'm running sometimes, tilting my head back, and I feel when I tilt my head back, you know what's happening? I'm opening up, I'm not engaging my core, right? My strides are getting shorter, so much things are happening. So what I try to tell myself to avoid this is to look straight ahead. So I'm trying to look 10 meters ahead of me, right? And that kind of helps me to like look forward and not drop my chin too low or tilt my head back too much. And that's number one. The second one we're going to talk about here is what are your arms doing, right? Arm swings. What are your arms doing when you're swinging? Think about what I try to tell myself is to think drumming when I'm running, right? Because if the drum is right in front of me and I'm trying to take strokes on the drum, I'm trying to hit the drum, this is how I'm going to have my hand, right? Just like that, and I'm hitting the drum. And what I try to tell myself is not fast arms, but big hits on the drum, big hits on the drum. And what this does, whatever your arm does, your legs are going to be doing. So what this kind of prompts me to do is to be aware of my legs and synchronize my arm swings with my legs to get maximum effort in my run. And then the third thing here, this is a big one, guys. The third thing here is what are my shoulders doing, right? This is no good. You don't want to be tightening up your shoulders. Even if you're sprinting, most sprinters do this or they do this, right? They tense up their shoulders. What you want is to relax your shoulders. What I'm trying to do is just drop my shoulders down, keep them as low and relaxed as possible so I could get maximum effort with the swing. Because if I tense up my shoulders, guess what happened? I'm tensing up my shoulders, my arm swings are not as effective, and my stride power and frequency is going to slow down. And that is number 3. The fourth thing that we're looking at here is my hands. What are my hands doing? Am I lending on my finger? Am I squeezing my palms? Like, what are my hands doing? There's multiple theories out here about what to do with your hands. Some people would say picture like paper between your thumb and your index, and you're trying to just slightly hold it like that, right? Some people would say you want to relax your wrist, so your wrist is just like this, almost like you're shooting a basketball. Some people like that. So I would say the main thing you want to do is to not tense up your hand. So you don't want to feel like this area right here, your forearm is tensing up, and that's gonna help also. Because remember, if you're trying to sprint fast or run faster, the more relaxed you are, the faster you run. So that's number 4. The 5th thing we're going to talk about here is posture. What is my body doing? Am I leaning forward too much? Am I leaning back too much? Right? Am I tilting to one side too much? Because you see this a lot with people who like sprinters or 400-meter runners. When they're going around the turn, they kind of tilt their body to one side to get around the turn. You want to avoid this. What you want is a slight lean forward, not too much lean forward, because if you lean forward too much, then you're going to be getting too much backside mechanics. So what you want is a slight lean forward, almost like your body is falling forward and your legs are landing under you and your legs are catching your body and propelling you forward. That's what you want, because if you're too much this way, right? Your strides are going to be shorter, and then you're just literally running up and down on the spot. And if you're too much that way, it's the same thing. This can cause injuries. It could cause overuse injuries in the hips, the hamstrings, even your shins. So that's number 5. Number 6 here is one of my all-time favorites, right? This is a big thing, guys. Where are you swinging from when you're running? Right? A lot of people think the swing comes from the elbow. They think the swing comes from the elbow. When really and truly, my swinging is coming from my shoulders and back. Shoulders and back. A good person to mimic when it comes on to arm sprint mechanics is Usain Bolt. He has that short lever at the front, long at the back, and elbows going to the sky. That means he's swinging from the shoulder. So pay attention to where you're swinging from. Are you breaking here, or are you swinging from the shoulders? A good indication to tell you that you're swinging from the shoulders is if your elbows are passing your body with each swing, right? And that's gonna be number 6. Number 7 here is don't bounce, right? A lot of athletes, when they're running, they're going up and down instead of hitting the ground and driving their hips forward. So it's almost looked like they're running on the spot. So people who run like this, who bounce, they tend to have Achilles injuries, calf injuries, shin splint, because they're applying too much force downwards and upwards. There's no vertical force happening. So be careful with that bouncing. What you want to focus on is driving your hips forward and pushing out of the ground and trying to send your body forward. And the last thing we're going to talk about here is twisting. Again, it all comes back to the arms. What are my arms doing? So this is what I tell my athletes. Imagine there's an imaginary line going down your body, right? And in this imaginary line, you're not trying to cross it with your hands. So when I'm swinging, I don't want my hands going across my body like this. Because look what happened. I start twisting, my strides get weaker, and my body, now I'm doing more work than I need to, right? What I want is to think of big strokes from the arms, and I'm going up and down and not across. So guys, if you like this type of content, stay tuned. I have more informative videos coming your way. All right, so those are going to be my top 8 tips for you guys to improve your running form and your running mechanics and even run more efficiently. If you like this type of content, feel free to leave a like. Remember to subscribe, and I'm coming to you guys with more informative videos. Thank you.